Let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
Hey, Dave, how are you? Love the show. Who do you think is making these decisions on, like, moving on from players? Is it Andrew Barry? Being the GM, you would expect it's him. Or, we've always wondered how much, say, Paul DePodesta has. So is this him trying to start trading players away for salary cap reasons because Deshaun's owed a lot of money for the next few years? Or, what are they doing? Because it feels like whoever's making these moves, man, I don't know. You got rid of your second best corner in the middle of the week, and a guy comes in today and gets exposed because he's only been here for a few days. Just crazy. Just want to hear your thoughts.
As always, appreciate all of the voicemails. Scott, it's an interesting question. I don't know that we're ever going to know exactly what Paul DePodesta does because they don't want us to know.
Right.
The Greg Newsom thing, they didn't. My read of that, and I'm curious what yours is. I don't think they wanted to pay him $18 or $19 million a year, and he's going to earn that based on the way he's played. Campbell's under control, and he didn't. I thought it was a mixed bag with Campbell. Let's see what happens after he's been here a little bit. He's physical. He'll be better in the run game. And he was pretty good man-to-man. I know he got beat a couple of times. I don't think he's a problem whatsoever. I don't think that's a huge drop-off.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And you can't just judge him on one game in Pittsburgh, new system, all that. Yeah, as far as who's making that trade, that doesn't feel like a Paul DePodesta move to me. I don't think. I guess I don't think the Jaguars GM calls Paul DePodesta. I think he calls Andrew Barry and they talk about it. Now, does Andrew then go talk to Paul DePodesta and they break down the salary cap and the financial commitments to either cornerback in the next 2 or 3 to 5 years? Yes, I'm sure that's a higher level discussion. But I don't think DePodesta sitting up there, moving the puppet strings. Now, when it comes to that trade, I do think the money is a significant factor in the deal. They're not paying Campbell a bunch. There's an out after 2026 where they wouldn't have to pay him hardly anything. I don't think they'd have any dead cap or not much dead cap. You're right. Greg Newsom was going to earn close to $20 million the way he'd been playing. He told me in the summer he wanted to stay here, but the Browns, do they want to pay 2 corners? That kind of money? Maybe not. And they know that Newsom isn't a perfect corner. So, but it's an interesting trade. And to me, that's not a fire sale trade, right? You trade starter for starter. The Browns think they're better. That's fine. But it shifts the ground under you if you're the team. Jim Schwartz didn't know about it until Wednesday night, was told about it after the trade, right? So you got to feel a little uncomfortable. You're Denzel Ward, and all of a sudden, the number 2 corner is gone. And I don't think it'll matter 8 weeks from now or next year, but last week it mattered to those guys that trade happened when it happened.
Yeah, that's fair. The question I would have, do the analytics that Paul DePodesta is in charge of, do they use that as a basis for whether they draft a player or trade a player? I would assume they do. Otherwise, why do you have the guy?
Oh, I have no doubt that they do. I mean, it's just a question of how much do they rely on them. And analytics, it's such a broad term. That's not telling them. Well, I mean, the stats might say that Tyson Campbell is better in press man than Greg Newsom, right? But somebody decides it. Some scout says that, okay, he won this rep or whatever, right? So it's a combination of human and, the data. But I think what is maybe more important in this situation and where the Browns are is, they didn't spend a lot of money in free agency because they're trying to get their cap in order given the Deshaun Watson trade debacle. And how can they get themselves out of it? And how can they save some cash and save some cap space and maybe not have these extra long-term commitments right now or pick and choose where they have those? So I think all those were factors in this move.